I think we're on our way to getting prepared for that. With that, I'm going to jump right in here, and we're going to just get started. And the first thing I'd like to talk about is our apparel program. So I am going to share. I'm going to share my screen. You'll be able to get some more information about our apparel program. And also, this information is all at MyRacePass.com. So you'll be able to see these things there as well. So this is our basically our front-facing page telling you about apparel. So I'll kind of give you some of the information that's here, and you can go to MyRacePass.com, go to products and services, and choose the promoters link to be able to get this information as well. But I want to kind of tell you what goes into it and what the thought process is behind our apparel program. First off, as you can see right on the screen, no minimum order. There's no inventory unless you want inventory, but there's no required inventory, stuff like that. The way it works is somebody will go MRP, whether it's on the MRP marketplace or on your track's website or series website, they'll buy the t-shirt. We will print it on demand like that. We'll ship it directly to them. You'll never have to have it pass through your fingers. You never have to track it. You'll just basically make the money off of it. And like with the no minimum order thing, another nice thing about that, obviously, is that you can basically, they can order it in any color. We have a ton of colors of t-shirts. So if somebody wants to have a pink racetrack shirt, you don't have to go out of your way to buy at least 25 or whatever the minimum order is somewhere else and have those. You can basically get whatever you need for your merch stand, and you can send everyone else onto your website to be able to buy it. There's actually a few race car drivers that we have with us here that out of their merch trailer, they just have a tablet. That's their merch trailer, and then you can order and buy the t-shirt or sweatshirt or long sleeve or hoodie or whatever you want right out of there. A lot of different styles of shirts you can buy, as we just mentioned, tank tops, whatever else. So there's a lot of different options and styles and things like that that are available to fans as they go to buy things. We kind of show you this the steps to complete document that we have for Promoter Dropship Apparel. And this is how easy we make it for you. You pay your invoice. You send us the your track or series logo, any sponsor logos you want to be on the shirt, the URL to your website, and your social media handles. And we have a designer here that will make you a custom t-shirt with this information, basically, customized for your track or series or whatever else. And that's how easy it is. You pay your invoice, you send us the things that we need. We'll send you a proof to approve, and then it'll be up in the MRP store directly after that. And then we also have this list of templates for shirts that we've already done. So you can take a look at the templates, take a look at things that as they currently exist, and kind of go through that way as well. So it's a really simple, easy thing. It doesn't take much to get your t-shirt into our store. And again, if you want more information on it here, MyRacePass.com, products and services, promoter scores, and you can see the apparel information there. Now, the reason I show you the apparel program now to start this off is because one of the topics that I want to talk a lot about is rewards tonight. The rewards program that we have, I mean, in certain ways, it's free money. I mean, you do these simple things that come with the program, you earn money back. The rewards program isn't so much. I mean, there's obviously a design cost and a cost to have it in the store, so that's not necessarily free money. But it's something that I really want to point you guys towards. First off, we're just going to talk about MRP Live and events. The simplest way to earn $50 off your bill for next year. If you have more than 10 events in your season, that's step one. Step two, if you connect MRP Live for basically 2/3 of those events, and if you're already doing that, you might as well do it for all of them, you get $50 off your bill for next year. So all that is MRP Live. Connecting MRP Live to your transponder computer and having at least 10 events. That's $50 off. Another $50 off if you have tickets associated with your events. Just add online tickets. There's no cost to you at all to do that. That is free money. If you add the tickets, it's available. It's there anyway. And if you can sell 300 of them in a year, over the course of 1 year, 300 seats in 1 year, that's not asking a whole bunch. That's another $50 off. So we're talking about doing things that are already included in the program at no additional cost, things that you probably should be doing regardless, just to engage with your fans and make yourself some extra money on race night. there's $100 right there. Now, if you also have a t-shirt in our marketplace, like I mentioned with Dropship Apparel, if you've got a t-shirt in our marketplace and you sell 50 items through the marketplace over the course of a year, you get another $50 off. And if you can meet all 3 of these goals, we're talking about an extra $100 off. So just through our rewards program, again, $100 for doing the things that are already in the program, and potentially as much as $250 for using the program and the apparel and things of that nature off of your bill next year. So that's, guys, that's really valuable. I think this is one of the ways in which our long-term goal for this is to be able to lower the cost for tracks, as long as you guys are doing your best to try to use us to make your race night more efficient and better for you. And again, this is a small way that we can lower the cost for you. You're going to hear a lot about MRP digital ads in the coming months as well. That's another valuable tool if you've got a website through us to reduce the cost or make some money back. This is a way to do that. So before I kind of jump ahead into the meat and bones of the program, and we get into the season management, race management, and things of that nature, does anybody have any questions about the MRP rewards program or our Dropship Apparel before we jump into the rest of it? If you do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll start the chat off here. If you put some questions in the chat, if you got them throughout the course of the night, if you think of something, after this is all done or in between sessions or tomorrow or whatever else, shoot me an email, austin.lloyd@myracepass.com. You can also send it to our support inbox, support@myracepass.com, and we can get to those, get to those here as the week moves on and answer your questions that way. But I just want to, keep this in your heads, keep this in your back of your minds. Just doing these simple little things can make you money, or not make you money, I guess, but take money off of your bill for the subsequent years. And I think that's valuable, and I think that's a cool thing. With that, if there aren't any questions here, jump ahead. We're going to take a look at some things from a series perspective here. I've got your favorite series up on the screen. But going through things as a series is pretty fast and pretty easy. I think that this will prove pretty helpful for those of you running a series. A lot of times running a series, you don't have so much going on as you do with a regular racetrack going through a regular race night. But definitely there's some valuable tools in here. What's the difference between dropship and if we make our own and sell them through MRP? If you make your own and sell them through your MyRacePass website, you have inventory. If it's through our Dropship Apparel program where we design it, then when a fan comes on and purchases a t-shirt, it doesn't touch your hands at all. We print it, we ship it to them. You just make a small commission off of the shirt, basically. So I'm going to jump through some of these options from a series perspective. The first thing that you'll notice is that it looks very similar to our regular season management page. It's the same thing. The difference is I've got 2 series here. For a normal series, you'll only have 1 thing listed there. It'll be your series name. Just for testing purposes, we ended up with 2 in here. But it'll usually just be your series name, and it'll be whatever classes your series are. So those things will probably not change, probably never change. And that's kind of a nice thing. For a racetrack, it'll just be the track that you're at, and then you'll add the series and classes. For your series, it'll just be a series here, the class that you are here, whether it's 1 class or 5. If you're the Midwest Madness Tour, you run all 5 IMCA classes, you can do it that way. Or you're just a 1 series deal or 1 class deal. The difference is that series will see is that you'll be able to add tracks. And you'll want to add all of the tracks that you're going to go to throughout the course of a year here in the series screen, because when you create events and add events to your schedule, those are the tracks that you'll have to choose from when you're going to a racetrack. So I've got a couple of tracks listed here. I'll just add 1 more. Perfect. So if my series is only going to go to 3 tracks all season long, that's all of the setup stuff that you'll have to do to be able to make that happen when you're creating a new season. So you come down here, you create your new season for 2021, which I've already got here. You add that, and this is what you'll do. You'll add all the tracks you're going to. You'll make sure your series and your class is in there correctly, and then we can move on from there. Adding a schedule from a series perspective, super fast and easy as well. We'll add a couple of things here. When we're adding events, this is how simple it is. If I'm going to, so basically you'll add events for every track that you go to. So when I'm going to add events, we'll start here with our first track. Click next. And then it's just a matter of selecting the dates that your series is going to visit that track on. So did I have 3 series in there? Perfect. I'll do it this way. We'll add those dates. Now you'll see that your the selected series is going to be there by default. So that'll add all of your classes for that race night. You'll add a name and a description. The pits, gates, hot laps, and racing times are all set by the track individually. So if you're adding events as a series, really super and fast, you don't really have to decide anything. You pretty much just have to give your event a name and put a description in there. And then you can go add and next. And then whatever information you want the fans to see when they click on that event in the app, we can add that and move along from there. Perfect. We've added those 2 events at this track. So now we'll add some more events. Come to track number 2. In this case, I'll just skip Brownstown because that's a real location. I'll keep it with our test environment. We'll add 2 more events. We'll select the dates that those events are going to be on. And again, it's just a matter of adding a name and a description. Perfect. And that's the process of adding events and creating a schedule from a series perspective. Now, similarly to with a racetrack, you can have multiple schedules in the same season. The purpose of having multiple schedules in the same season is multiple points championships. So think of it that way. So this is where it actually comes into play for series a little bit more than racetracks. If you are a series that's got an overarching, this is your main series schedule, we'll use an example like USCS or ASCS where they have a national tour schedule. You can create another schedule for your regional tours. So if, again, I'm going to use ASCS as an example, I would have the ASCS national tour schedule. Then I would create another schedule for another points champion for something like, the Missouri, whatever they call the Warrior region, I think, or whatever Frontier region, I think is in Montana, or their old Northern Plains region or whatever else. So that's the purpose for multiple schedules from a series perspective. You can also use it for something like a speed week. If you're going to crown a speed week champion, you're going to have, 6 races in 7 nights or something like that, and you want to have that week's champion, you can create a schedule for that week as well. The nice thing about that is that for each one of your shows that you run, you can make that show a part of one or multiple schedules. It's a checkbox list. You can make it a part of 1 or 2 or 3 schedules or whatever else. So you can have that show calculate points for multiple schedules at the same time. That's the purpose for multiple schedules, and I can show you how that looks as well. If I'm going to add that, and then in my special schedule, that's going to be all of the races at Rainbow Road Speedway. I'll go to my main schedule, these 2 events at Rainbow Road. I can add to my special schedule, and now those events are going to calculate points for both schedules at the same time, basically. That's how that'll work. Makes it really fast and easy to be able to do things with multiple schedules. In addition to that, this isn't going to be a full training on fantasy. I'm just going to give you this one piece of information on fantasy. If you're adding every schedule that you run throughout the course of a season is automatically going to generate its own fantasy standings. So if I'm multiple schedules right there, those will both feed into points for my fantasy schedule as well. So those 2 things go hand in hand. There's no extra action taken or extra action necessary for you to make that happen. It just happens by default. That feature is also true in terms of multiple schedules for race tracks as well. That doesn't work any differently. You can have multiple schedules for your racetrack as well. Works the same way with fantasy. If you come down to the points section, I don't have any points for those schedules created yet, for like the special schedule, for instance. But you'll be able to see in, I can use this regular series schedule as an example. You'll be able to see, first off, regular points information, wins, top fives, top tens, whatever else. Earnings don't pay any attention to, because we don't make the earnings information publicly available. So sometimes information will populate, sometimes it won't. It's not accurate, and it's not publicly usable. It's an old holdover from an old feature. It really is meaningless at this point. But the features, wins, top fives, top tens, and points are all accurate. You'll be able to see in this screen the included events in those point standings. So if I were to split between multiple schedules, I can see what events were a part of those schedules as well as we go through there. And then I can create an advanced championship calculation here as well. An advanced championship calculation will, I'll do it for a single class, do it for 410 wing sprint cars. We'll set it through the course of an entire year, basically. We'll add the championship, and then once the championship is added, we can change our selected rules. So what the advanced championship calculation will do in this screen is if you have 20 events, but you only want the top 18 of those 20 events to count towards series points, you can do that. Or you can drop their bottom 2 events. You can do it either or. There's no limit to these, so you literally could, if you run 20 events, you could split it in half and only take 10 of them, whether that's going to be through drop or whatever else. And again, you can drop the events the competitor did not attend first, if they got zeros there. You can use this to create a rookie standings. In rookie standings, you're going to rely heavily on the registration process, because that's the only place that a driver will be able to tell you inside MyRacePass that I'm running for rookie points this year. So if you are having a rookie competitor, make sure you've got your drivers registering so you can easily differentiate between who's a rookie and who's not. You can also have point multiplier nights. So if I were to send the range of this advanced championship calculation for just one day of a specific event and put in time 2 or a 2 here, that will be a double points night. Or if I put in a 3 here, triple points night. Or if I take it 0.5 or whatever, you can do whatever you want there. And then also there is an age division for competitors as well. So if you want, if by opening night of this year, you've got to be, over 55, your minimum age is 55, now you've got a seniors only division or something like that. You can use that as well. So there's a lot of different options with the advanced championship calculations. Most commonly, this is used for dropping your 2 or 3 worst nights or something like that. This feature is only available on the partner plan. So if this is something you're sitting back and saying, I need to have that, that's how we run our track, or that's how we run our series, just be aware that's something that's only available on the partner plans. That's what you're going to want to look into there. But that's basically setting up a season for points, for fantasy, for creating events, for creating a season from a series perspective. If you have any questions about that, feel free to unmute yourself here, shout them out. I'll be happy to answer any of those questions that you've got right now for for series setup. And I'm not sure how many series participants we've got here. So for those of you with racetracks, I apologize. It's probably not going to completely apply to you. But at least wanted to get some of that information out there from a series perspective, so we could understand what was going on. Another thing that I want to look into here in this session is editing your own profile. This is something that you're probably not going to have to do a lot. I recommend to look in here at least once a year, probably at the beginning of the year, just to make sure it's all still accurate. But again, it's not going to change a whole bunch, but we'll kind of go through it here one by one. The profile, you can get to the profile by clicking on your track logo here, or from the dashboard. There's a profile button down here as well. And we will go through the generic settings. We'll start with our account. If you want to update your thumbnail image or your header image, you can do those 2 things from here. You can download a template as well. It comes in a zip folder basically. But you can download that, and that'll give you some generic templates in JPEG or in AL files, or even a PSD file, I think, or EPS is in there as well. So a lot of different file types there that you can download the templates for. If you need to, you can crop that image as well, which this is, yeah, so there you go. That's how you can crop the image as well, so you get what you want in there. So you can do those things with the thumbnail image. Now, when fans are searching for your racetrack in the app or your series in the app, the thumbnail image is what will be associated with the track name in that initial search. So you want to make sure that that thumbnail image is something that'll be easily recognizable for your fans. After they click on your racetrack name and they can see your entire profile, that's where the header image will come to play. The header image will be listed there as well. You can update that image again here. And you can download templates for the header image there as well. I just want to make mention of the fact that there's only certain file types that are accepted, not including PDFs. So if you've got your if you're trying to upload something in here, you're trying to update the image in here, the file type has to be like a JPEG or a PNG or a JPG or an AI or EPS. You can't have a PDF in there. Although I will say, if you do have a PDF and that's all you have and you can't get hold of anything else, send it to us, and we'll be able to make it work for you in most circumstances. I don't want to guarantee it all the time. Most of the time we can. If you click the Edit Now button right here, it brings you to this Profile tab where you can set your series basics or your track basics, regardless, or depending on what you're using. So you can set your region, which there's only a couple of regions that exist here in MyRacePass for the United States, but there's a whole bunch of different countries. So if you are trying to open a dirt track in Sweden, I'm telling you, we got you covered. Year founded, year closed in a description. This information will come up for fans when they search MyRacePass. So if you want to put some interesting information in your description, like series champions or all-time wins or whatever, you can do that here. Address and contact information, pretty self-explanatory. Make sure that's updated and correct. If you're requesting hard cards from us, this is the address we're going to use. So, I mean, make sure that that's accurate. And then aliases exists here as well. If your series or track was ever known by a different name at any point, or you change the name or whatever, add the alias in here. The reason for that is if you've got a fan who still knows that series or track by the old name and they search for the old name in the app, if you have the alias linked up, then it will still bring them to your correct profile. They won't end up going to the wrong place or going into some kind of loop or saying, oh, they must not be on MyRacePass or something like that. You can see that stuff here. For a track that's got all this for the track profiles, there's also via Google Maps, like a latitude and longitude line as well. So you can have directions straight to your track right there on the app as well. And then there's also some information when you look for tracks as well for amenities, things like, pit parking or grandstand procedures, or if you allow coolers or whatever, like a whole bunch of different amenities. There's a lot of them in there. So you want to make sure if you're a racetrack, you come here into this profile section and you just make sure it's accurate at least once a year, so your fans have the correct information. In terms of billing contacts, or billing information, this is basically where you can come in and put this information there. If you already have a plan, your screen will look a lot like this. If you don't have a plan yet, you'll have to click on that. But basically, it'll give you what your plan is, allow you to select a plan. It will give you a list of your invoices going back, so you can view all of your old invoices, what you paid, when you paid them, things of that nature. And then it'll allow you to have card information on file, and that's what we bill when your subscription date comes up. So you want to make sure that card information is accurate as well. So that's basically the billing information and how you can view and change that billing information. One other option that's here on this Profiles tab is the Users section. When you go to Users, this is how you add an administrator to your account. There's two different roles that are listed here, and I wanted to make sure there's some clarity between the two. If you are listed as a standard admin here, it means you have the ability to log in, to view the admin page. You have access to all of this stuff, everything that's in it. You can view, make changes, all of those things. If you're listed as a site member, what that means is that you were logged into MyRacePass and navigated to this profile or this series or this track's website. That's all that means. You don't have any access to do anything. So that means if you have an admin listed here and you don't want them to have access anymore, Just flip this to site member, and we're good to go. We'll leave Ross as an admin here. If you want to add a new member, you can do that by clicking this button here. We'll add a new member. I'll add myself, so you can see what this looks like. Perfect. If they have a MyRacePass account, it'll show up automatically. This is their name. We're able to link their account. If they don't have a MyRacePass account, it'll come up like this. You'll be asked to fill in their first name and last name, what role you want them to have, and then it'll send them an invite to create a MyRacePass account. Basically, that's the only difference there. So I'll make myself a standard admin. That's what that looks like. If one of your administrators has forgotten their login credentials, you can reset their password here. And that's basically about it. That's all that's listed here. In terms of adding site admins to the account, generally pretty easy things to do. One other thing that I'll show you here before we get done with this session, again, this was mostly geared towards series, so I want to make sure that we've got everything accurate here. I'm going to jump up into the settings here, and I'm going to go to the Manage Classes tab. For those of you who are racetracks, you'll recognize this is where you can change the class names. I want to make sure that this is accurate here when you guys are coming, when you got a series coming in. Your racetrack class names will override the series class names. So if they've got something put in here, and you've got something put in at your racetrack that's different for a class name override, what's ever listed at your racetrack is going to take precedent. That's important because if you have a traveling series coming in and they have class names that they want to have, available or whatever else, you're going to have to enter those into your track's, profile, depending on your agreement with the series. If the series doesn't care, then it's not a big deal. But if the series is making a demand that, hey, my class names have to be listed because of sponsorship obligations or whatever, you just make sure you understand that, your racetrack class names that you've put in for your racetrack will override any series class names. That's just one thing to keep in mind here at this screen. And then really, honestly, that doesn't come up very often, but it can, so it's something that I definitely want to make you aware of. And also, when you're running from a series perspective, you go up into settings. This is where you can manage your points and pay schemes. I'm going to go over creating points and pay schemes in the next session, and that's where you can also manage your lineup settings, and so you can select what lineups are right for you and things of that nature. Now, the nice thing about MyRacePass being a web-based application, what happens to a site member that had a paid subscription with MyRacePass and they become a site admin for a track on MyRacePass? Nothing happens to either one. They'll still have access to the subscriptions that they paid for, and they'll also just be able to log in and manage the website. Nothing will happen to they're going to be under the same account, but they'll remain mostly separate in functionality. One thing to keep in mind here, I guess, when we're moving forward is oh, now I lost my train of thought. We were looking at the lineup settings. Again, you want to make sure your line. Oh, okay, I understand now. I remember. The nice thing about MyRacePass being a web-based application is that people can manage the same event, the same classes even, from different locations, from different machines. So your racetrack is running 3 weekly classes. Your traveling series goes in with their 1 weekly class. The racetrack can enter your drivers at the back gate. You don't have to enter your own drivers unless you want to. But then even if the racetrack enters the drivers, you can still log in on your own profile and do all the lineups. You can both manage those same things with a series or a racetrack differently. Or if you want the racetrack to manage your lineups as well, the racetrack can manage your lineups, but you can still log in and publish the results to social media if you want to. It's web-based. Anybody can log in from any place to manage this as long as they're an admin on one of the 2 accounts. Now, if you're an admin on the series page but not the racetrack page, you wouldn't be able to do anything with their weekly classes, only your series information. But I'm just saying you can diversify, I guess, the responsibilities on race night and have the racetrack enter in the back gate, or have the racetrack upload results from their live timing computer, which is the most common practice, the most common way to do that. And then you can create lineups the way you want to, or you can apply points the way you want to, or whatever else. It's all web-based, so you can log in from anywhere and manage it. I just kind of use the Boone Super Nationals as an example. MyRacePass goes down and helps out with back gate entry at Boone Super Nationals. So there can be 3, 4, 5, 6, however many people that you want checking in drivers at the back gate. And then somebody that's completely different from those people can be logged in up in the tower and create lineups or things of that nature. So that's a really nice thing about it being web-based. It's one of the things that makes it easiest to manage a series. You'll go in, you'll talk to the racetrack, and you'll say, how do you want to handle this? Do you want to do entries? Do you want me to do entries? I can have my drivers check in and pay here, whatever. And it's all right there, easy to handle, whatever else. And that way, if the drivers need to rent a transponder, they can get that from the track and not have to worry about what transponder number it is or deliver it to somebody else or whatever else. Track can just enter them in the back gate as well. So that makes it kind of fun, or not fun, I guess, makes that part of it a lot more seamless and a lot easier, especially if they got the MRP cards or the MRP card in the app as well. With that, kind of took you through some of the options in terms of rewards and apparel. Creating a season and a schedule from a series perspective, editing that profile, the billing information, and the site admins. Do you guys, right now, before we wrap this first session up, it was a lot shorter than our normal sessions, but I think we're going to make up for that with the next one. Do you guys have any questions about any of these things before we take a quick break for the night? I just want to reiterate, in the next session, we're going to look at race management, basically running a race night from start to finish, including payments and points. I'm not going to include tying in with a live timing, scoring like Orbit's a race manager in that, just the race management part of it. Going through some of the lineups, what they mean and the differences between them, points and pay schemes and custom passing points, and then adding tickets via online tickets. That's kind of what I'm going to cover tonight. So if that's more what you're interested in, 7:30 Central Time, about an hour and a half. And until then, you guys, again, thanks for taking time out of your night. This was a little bit of a shorter session, but that's okay. If you're here for WSOTA purposes, to get credit for viewing this from WSOTA perspective or point of view, you have to have you have to do something after this is done. You email me with your name, the racetrack that you're with or representing, and the secret code. And the secret code is going to be snow, because we had 6 inches of it last night here where I am, and that sucks. Perfect, Ron. I'm glad I was able to assist. If you guys have any questions for me when this is all said and done, shoot me an email, austin.lloyd@myracepass.com. You can give me a call as well. You can find my number individually when you call in. The extension's 810 for me. And if you got questions about, hey, this is my lineup format, this is what I'm going to do for my races or whatever else, let me know. I'm here to help. I want to do that. Can you repeat the code? The code is snow. Snow. The white stuff, the devil's dandruff, whatever you want to call it. Snow is the code here for WSOTA purposes. If you're a WSOTA track, name, racetrack, code. So we are done recording here with this one. Thank everybody so much for tuning in.